Hi, it's Miss Tibbs again. I have a story for us. This story is called Norman the Slug with the Silly Shell. This is a really good book to work on your S sounds. It's also a really good book to make predictions about what's going to happen next and to think about the emotions that the characters are feeling and to answer any questions that I have for you throughout the book. Okay, so let's get started. Norman the Slug with the Silly Shell. Ooh, look at all these slugs. I see a lot of slugs. Actually, these aren't slugs. These are snails. Snails have shells. Slugs do not have shells. Norman, the slug, thought snails were great. Wow, said Norman, look at them. They're amazing. This is Norman the slug. Do you see he does not have a shell? These are the snails. They have shells. How does Norman feel about all the snails? But unfortunately, the snails did not think Norman was great. What happened when Norman tried to join them? How do you think the shells or the snails felt? Norman, you silly slug, they cried. You've spoiled our fun. This only works if you've got a shell. Norman felt left out. Sadly, he sulked off into the moonlight. When the snails told them that he ruined their tower, how did Norman feel? If only I had a shell of my own, he sighed, looking at his reflection. And that's when he had an idea. Maybe I could have a shell after all. Where did Norman go to think? I see a reflection in the water. What do you think his idea is? Finding a shell was not easy. One shell. What was wrong with that shell? It was too bouncy. One shell was too noisy. And one shell, well, it was already taken. Who already took that shell? Norman needed time to think. Do you have an idea about what might happen next? Where is Norman going? Ta-da! A shell. What did Norman use to make a shell? How did he make his shell stay? How does Norman feel? Where did he find the donut? It was perfect. Norman had never been happier. He could join the snails at last. Norman loved being a snail. And the snails loved Norman's silly shell. How does everyone feel? Where is Norman now? The fun didn't last long. Suddenly, there was a loud flapping of wings. Look out! What do you think is coming? A bird! The snails cried in panic. Quick, slither for your lives, or we'll end up as supper. Why were the snails scared? Where are they going to go? What do you think the bird is thinking? Does the bird want to eat the snails? Or does he want to eat something else? The bird was more interested in the delicious looking silly shell that Norman had. Norman was being carried up, up, up and away higher into the sky. Who took Norman? Why did he take Norman? What do you think Norman should do next? Norman did the only thing a slug could do. He made slime. Lots and lots of slime. What do you think the slime is going to help with? With a slither and a slother and a slip and a slide, Norman was free. What is happening to Norman? He was falling faster and faster and faster. Where is he going? Plonk. Norman, are you okay? Asked the snails. How do all the snails feel? How does Norman feel? Wow, said Norman. That was great. I love flying. If only I had some wings. Do you see anything that he could use to make wings? Ta-da! That is silly. And we see all the snails again. Okay, if you want to practice, you can watch that video again and practice saying all of your S sounds. You can practice answering the questions that I asked, and you can retell the story back to me. If you want to film it, you can send it to me and I can listen to the story that you tell about Norman and his silly shell.